What is going on, everybody? Carnage back here again, and today I am back with my weekly comic book day pickups. A lot of very good stuff that came out this week. A lot of stuff that I'm very, very happy I got. And I did read a couple of them already. Very, very good, as expected. So without any further ado, let me just get started with the first book. We have Avengers number 16. Really, really digging this. This is kind of like the like one of the concluding parts of the whole Blood Hunt storyline. Really digging this. Really dug this little like Blood Hunt arc for the Avengers. Really, really enjoyed it. Really cool team. Keep forgetting her name, but really cool team. Really happy with it. I know she was part of Avengers Academy though. I do remember that. But really cool issue. Really do love this cover as well. Jed McKay definitely killing it with this Avengers story slash Blood Hunt. Like I just really like his writing in general. Like I think he's a very good writer. So that's probably why I'm such a big fan of it. So up next is actually my favorite book that I've read so far from this week. Ultimates issue number 2. Granted, I've only read like 3 of the books that I've picked up this week, this being one of them. Really, really happy with this issue. Really, really dug it. Really interesting, like way of writing the story. Basically, all they do in this issue is basically go free a character. I'm not gonna say who it is, but let me just say, she's a very cool character, and we all know her. She's been in a movie, but really, really cool. I also really do like this cover as well. Really, really badass. And then the next book up, which is one I've read. Like I've said, I'm not the biggest fan of this whole... like, this is definitely not the greatest Spider-Man, like, arc that they've done in recent years, but, it's alright. Like, I'll still be reading and, seeing what's happening in it. Also, something funny I just kind of noticed, it says Legacy 947, and that's issue number 53. And if you add those together, that makes 1,000. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Anyway, sorry, just kind of a little humorous on my part. But, yeah, decent story. I like the cover, though. Really badass cover. And let me just say, this Spider-Boy series, really digging it so far. Really did enjoy the last issue quite a bit. And I believe this is like the first appearance of someone who's never shown up in a comic book that is part of the Spider-Man mythos. Or it's like a new Spider character. I don't fully remember what it was when I looked it up on, my comic app. I'm blanking out on the name at the moment, but, really digging this cover too. Really do like the Spider-Punk 90s Spider-Man, 1960s Spider-Man, 2089. I know that's Mary Jane. I don't know what her name was, though, because I haven't read the Renew Your Vows, continuing series. Not the 5-issue miniseries that was part of Secret Wars, but the one that came out after that. I know I have issue number 2 to it, and I think that's the same, Mary Jane. I might be wrong, though. And then we have Spider-Ham right there. Also, Japanese Spider-Man. Really, really badass cover, and I did look through it a little bit, and it was very good, and I really did enjoy it. I haven't read it, but, I'm very excited to read it. And then, this is actually one of the Blood Hunt tie-ins that I've actually really, really been digging quite a bit. This is the Wolverine one. I just read issue number 2 the other day, actually. Really digging this, really cool. Wolverine teams up with a, I don't remember what her name is, but she was part of a, group that went to go hunt / kill vampires, and then she became a vampire after all of her, teammates got killed by vampires, and then she got turned, and then, she learned to, I don't know what the correct word would be, but she basically stopped the hunger from doing its thing and killing people. So now she's a vampire killing other vampires, and she's teamed up with Wolverine in this. I know that was probably a bad explanation, but you know. Also, let me just say, this is a badass cover too. I really love it. Just the lightning in the background, the rain, Wolverine going one-on-one with the vampire. It's really fucking cool, man. Also, sorry for the language. For that. These next two books are the same book, just, different cover. And let me just say, I'm not a huge fan of John Romita Jr.'s art, but let me just say, he definitely did very well with this one. I really do love it. Such a badass cover, man. Really, really cool. And the variant cover that I picked up was the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe one. And I had to get the one that was, Death of Elektra related. Just because, why not? Like, this is definitely the coolest Deadpool Kills one that I saw at the comic shop. Really, really cool. I also really do like the blood spatter in the background. Such a cool thing. And then the next one up is the Incredible Hulk Blood Hunt issue number 1, and this is only a one-shot, so very cool. I'm a huge fan of this Incredible Hulk storyline, so I'm basically picking up all of it, and I also did really like the cover of it, because, he's got little vampire bites all over him, which was pretty cool. And I know they did have something in the, what was it? Blood Hunters, like that little side story for this entire event, where we actually see the Incredible Hulk, trapped in a basement, and vampires were sucking his blood, and the vampires were getting, advanced in a way. I don't know if that continues off of that, but I'm very excited to read it. And then the only independent book I picked up is Deadweights issue number 4. I've been really loving this Deadweight series. It's such a unique thing, just because these two villains were kind of like, no, we're done. They were fired, and then they were like, nah, we're done. And then we, see them, trying to quit being villains, and then we see them do heroic things too. But let me just say, one of my favorite independent books so far, so I do recommend you guys check it out. It's only on 4 issues, and I'm pretty sure they'll be relatively cheap to pick up still. They shouldn't have anything that's, too expensive. This next book up is actually one from last week that I realized I didn't get. This is Miles Morales, issue number 22. Really curious about, what happens in this issue, because in the last issue it kind of just left me on a cliffhanger. And, also this cover is just kind of a lot to handle, in my opinion. It's cool, but, it's a lot, if that makes sense. I get it, I probably don't make sense when I say that, but anyway, really curious to see what happens in this. I did kind of, miss out on it when it originally came out, but I haven't heard anything about it, so thankful that I haven't gotten that spoiled for me. Next book up we have is Superman Action Comics number 1067. I've been mostly reading this Action Comics thing just because it was part of the whole House of Brainiac thing. Still need to read the last couple issues to the House of Brainiac, I know. But let me just say, I don't know if this one has anything to do with House of Brainiac. I'm assuming not, but, I really enjoyed it, the last issue, so I might as well just keep up with it at this point. And this next one has been one I've been waiting for a while. This is Death in the Family, Robin Lives, issue number 1 of 4. This is basically kind of like an Elseworld what-if type thing, where, Robin doesn't die by the Joker, and, as it says, he lives, so pretty cool. Definitely going to be reading that one right after I finish this video. And I did pick up a variant cover for this new book, just because I thought it was just one of the cooler covers, and then I really enjoyed the main cover as well, so I was just like, why not? This is also done by Jed MacKay. This is issue number 1 of Jed MacKay's X-Men run. This is his first time doing the X-Men, I believe. which I'm excited for, just because this looks like a very badass team. Not so sure who she is, but I know I think that might be Kid Omega, but you see, that's kind of weird because he died in the Wolverine series. And then we have, Juggernaut, Magic, what's her name? Psylocke. Not so sure who that guy is. I want to say that might be Leech, but I might be wrong. And then we have Beast right there. Yeah, really excited to see what happens in this story, because I've been excited for it ever since I heard about it, being released. So, very excited to see what happens in that. And then I did pick up the variant cover. And on this one, we actually see Magneto. And I know there was some extra thing that they handed out last week. I don't remember where I put it. Actually, there it is, right next to me. And we do kind of see a little bit of what this book entails. I know I did not read it, but I just kind of glanced through this because this is the free spotlight thing, so I just kind of opened it up. And let me just say, I can already tell this is going to be some pretty decent work, because it's literally only the first 2 pages, and then we see new X-Men team. If you guys know who she is, let me know in the comments below, just because I've never seen that character before. But then again, I don't really keep up with X-Men in general. This will be my first time actually reading X-Men consistently, if that makes sense. Because I've read a handful of issues over the years, but I've never full-on read a series from issue 1. But yeah, that's basically all I have for you guys today, so I want to thank you all for watching, and if you did like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.